now tuned in to the Cold Hard Truth, Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
Good morning.
Buenos dias. Happy Friday.
Buenos dias.
How are you?
Fantastic.
We are bueno.
Buenos.
Bueno.
We are.
Does that mean you're drinking?
We're bueno. That means we're good.
Oh, bueno. Sorry, I thought you said wino. I'm like, why are you talking
We're
about?
wino.
Wino will be winos later.
Friday.
Yeah. Buenos now.
I was beginning
Winos.
to wonder, why is wine in the brains early in the morning?
I don't know.
Probably because it's still in your system from last night.
No.
No? Are you still negative?
Well, shall we do the reveal once we're live?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
All
Yes,
right.
let's do that.
I'm ready. I got up and did my test.
Okay. Stand by because we're just in the middle of a commercial
Yeah.
break right now on Kiss FM.
Mm-hmm.
While we're just chatting during commercial break, I might want to plug the Christmas tree business.
I'm gonna let Blake do that. I'm gonna go grab a cup of coffee.
Oh,
Are they here yet?
I'll be right back.
The trees are they were in Jamaica yesterday, and they are they swapped ships. They went from Brooklyn, New York, down to Kingston, on a ship. And then they got switched over to the Seaboard Sun yesterday. And now that should arrive today sometime.
Okay.
And then likely, what's that?
Quite a journey to get here.
Quite a journey, and hopefully no raccoons in the containers. But we should get those tomorrow and get that. I talked to the Department of Ag yesterday, and we're lining them up for inspection tomorrow. So fingers crossed. If we get cleared, then we can start. Maybe even doing some deliveries on Sunday, at the earliest. Yeah. Wow. So if you haven't gotten your tree yet, CMR Land, how many people's on right now?
We have 107 and counting.
All right. So if you want a real Christmas tree, that fresh smell, Canadian balsam fir, the way Christmas should be, you get that from Wonderland Christmas Trees. And we have different sizes from a 5 to 6 all the way up to 8 to 9 for those large houses. And you can get those on our website, christmastrees.ky. Christmastrees with an S.ky. All right. So go there, complete the purchase process, and then you can either have it delivered, and we deliver anywhere on island, even to a boat if you wanted, for $35, or you can pick it up for free at our tree lot, where we're going to have nightly snowfalls. And the tree lot will be in the parking lot. It costs you less. Oh, Daisy, thank you.
Placed her order already.
Good job, Daisy.
So she is ready to go.
All right.
Good morning.
Oh, there you go. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So
Buenos dias, Rita.
I'm sure you're going to give us your thoughts on the press conference yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, not really a lot to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't really shocked by anything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Talk about it.
How are, without revealing you, how is your family doing with COVID?
Well, Gigi had a little bit of a rough night.
Oh, why?
Yeah.
What happened?
Why is it that colds and stuff always get worse at night?
Yeah, that is true. I don't know.
I mean, kids are running around all day.
Maybe because you're tired, your body slows down. I don't know.
Maybe and then at night you seem to get extra stuffy and extra, So last night,
because you lay down and then so you get all that drainage.
I don't know. She went to bed early, which was a sign that she was obviously,
not feeling great. Oh, how's Marlon doing?
She's like, I want mama, and I'm like, no.
Oh.
I had my I felt like I was in one of those crazy exorcist movies where I'm like, no.
Was her head spinning around?
Stay away. Mama doesn't want to catch COVID, please.
Oh, how's Marlon?
It's just so hard. I think he's starting to feel better.
Good.
He seems to be on the mends and getting a little bit too used to like the food service, like delivery of food in a platter.
Exactly. He's loving that. He's gonna milk that. Oh no, I'm not feeling good for another week. Marlon, it's been 5 weeks now. Time for you to come out of your room. What do you got there?
I have all the keys in. My husband is stranded at home. Can't take the kids to school.
Oh, there's another thing.
Oh, no.
Aaron's having a bad week.
Got hit by a car yesterday.
Aaron got into a car wreck. Aaron did.
On South Sound Road. He just pulled out into me.
In their brand new truck.
Oh, no.
I just threw the key and now I lost
I think it went underneath.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
And now the kids need to get to school and I'm here. So.
Oh, do you need to go?
I mean, I'm going to have to go back there and then come back this way. I mean, I'm going to have, I don't know what to do.
Do you need, well, you want help from our nanny?
Well,
she's dropping miles right now.
Always keep a spare
already.
Probably, yeah.
Somewhere.
Is she coming? Well,
Stand
no,
by.
I have the spare key
Stand by.
because,
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Big news. I have some important news for you.
Interesting news.
It's Blake and Aaron's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning, Blake and Aaron.
How are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
We're good. So give us the
Happy Friday.
lowdown. Yeah, happy Friday. By the way, when we're done, the year for our throwback is 1993. So we're expecting a song from you. All right. How are you? Are you negative still?
All right. So I got up and did my test results. And I'm
Your
happy
LFT.
to say I'm still. Can you guys see it?
It's a little nuts. Oh, there you go. Oh,
Still
negative. Wait a
Still
minute.
negative.
Hold on.
Yeah, there's nothing at the bottom.
Okay. All right.
Like trying
Still negative.
Still
Fingers
negative.
crossed.
Your daughter and your husband both positive. You're living in a positive house, and
I would really be surprised, to be honest, if I remained negative in a household of 2 positive individuals.
yeah.
No, I mean, I know other people who have been isolating with
Yeah,
plus
but
and
we
not.
can't even isolate because she refuses to be around anybody right now but me when she's not feeling well. So it's like,
yeah, that's the hard part is when
yeah,
the little one's not
sleeping in
feeling
the
well.
same bed, and I'm like, ugh. So we'll see what the how long are you contagious for? We'll see how that goes. But
Hopefully it goes.
Depends on your
quickly.
viral load, but yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I have a friend right now who continues to test positive on PCR, has been in isolation for 4 weeks almost.
On a
One of those
PCR. What
people.
about a lateral flow?
Well, the lateral
test?
flow, I believe, said negative. The PCR said positive. Yeah.
So then,
So the it was like the roller coaster ride. Yes, it's gone, and then the exit PCR,
Oh my
and no,
gosh.
sorry.
So, that's kind of rough.
One of the things we mentioned it earlier that I thought was eye-opening is the premier said during the press conference yesterday that hospitalizations of people in for COVID, 75 to 80% of them are unvaccinated folks.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a pretty eye-opening stat.
Yeah, I mean, not for those of us who've actually been paying attention. We know that
Oh, right.
worldwide, that's what it's trending to be. So
Yeah, but now those are actually Cayman.
yeah, for
figures,
sure. Yeah.
So what was your take on the press conference yesterday?
Sorry, Aaron.
What was your take on the press conference yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear anything like earth-shattering. I think that obviously the government needed to have it days before the reopening, and most of it's kind of like what I expected to hear. They're getting on with the business of making sure that they're just reassuring the country that all of the logistical aspects with the civil service, with private sector, that all this stuff is coming together. I've heard from a source that the inbound flights on Cayman Airways are actually really, really solid. One person was saying they were just randomly checking flights and they were booked all the way to mid-December. I don't think that every single flight is booked, but it's a good sign that people, are going to take advantage of the travel opportunity.
I think the majority of those are probably Cayman Islands residents, I'm guessing.
Anxious to get off the island and come back. Yeah.
I thought it was interesting too that they are going to reinstate. I didn't know they had stopped really, but reinstate RCIPS issuing tickets
for certain types of breaches. Yes.
okay.
I think in relation to one of the questions, he said that it had never completely stopped, but I think they've added to the list. So they're like some 18 offenses or whatever that you can actually, they're now ticketable offenses.
That's right. I did hear something about the offenses.
I thought it was funny that Minister Bryan was reading his bit, and he seemed surprised by his own speech. The consequences for.
Yeah,
you didn't see that?
No, he was surprised.
Wait a minute, 2 years in prison? I didn't know it was that much. Oh, okay, that's a lot. Okay, well.
Yeah.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Just read whatever is put in front of me.
Hey, I love
That's
you,
hilarious.
Kenneth. I love you, Kenneth.
That's hilarious.
You got to pre-read.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at taking the
I think what happens is these.
Wait, it's 2 years, guys? We came up with 2 years.
Wait a minute.
Hold on a second.
I'm not sure how Kenneth. I don't know how he missed that, but they have an outline of, I guess, what is going to be in the speech and then the details. But I mean, I would never sit down and give a speech and not having read it beforehand, because I don't know what might have accidentally slipped in there.
Well, you can't give out a consequence and then act surprised when you're the one delivering the consequence to the public. And if you don't follow rules, it's going to be 2 years. Really? Did we come up with 2 years, guys? All right. Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
That's good.
Anyway. Not a lot of new information, and I think they were comforting the public to say, hey, listen, we're going to continue, moving forward on Saturday, phase 4.
Yeah.
And they did say,
you know what is so funny? We had a few, on the live stream, we had a few negative Nancy's. Everything coming out of their mouth was negative. And one guy, he's always negative about everything. And then he's like, well, what if somebody comes in on the 19th? Can't they get the benefit of, and it's like, dude, you've been sitting here complaining the entire time about people not following process and about equality and this and that and whatever. It's like, no, it's the 20th. It's not the 19th. It's not the 18th. The phase 4 starts on the 20th. We're trying to follow the rules and make it applicable to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that have missed the cutoff of certain things and dates by a day, and that's the difference between a longer quarantine and not.
Yeah.
Just the way it is.
I mean, you can't be like, oh, well, let's have it all over the place. I mean, if it's precise and you have certainty, then at least people know what's going on.
Yeah.
So
they did say yesterday as well, I noticed that phase 5 wouldn't be looked at until the beginning of the year. So
yeah. I mean, they got to sort out. Phase 5 would include cruise ships, right?
No, actually, no.
Phase 5 isn't cruise ships.
Phase 5 would include unvaccinated children with no quarantine or isolation.
Oh, wow.
Cruise ships would not be until essentially phase 6, or they call it full open.
Full open. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you did see that I think it was Carnival Cruise Line was saying that to travel or to go on a cruise with your kids 5 and up, everybody's got to be vaccinated.
Great. I just read this morning too that Austria just went into a full
only for
lockdown
for unvaccinated.
No.
They were like,
no, they
did a lockdown for unvaccinated, and now they're like
just
everybody locked down.
But what's their?
They're also doing. I thought it was
pretty high actually.
Hold on one second. I'm going to tell you what else they're doing, because
Sorry, I was having.
They're actually doing something in relation to mandates as well. That's like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're actually requiring all of their citizens to be vaccinated.
Yeah, I think that's the first.
One of my best friends is married to an Austrian, so I'm gonna get more info.
I think that this is the first. Oh, somebody just corrected me. It's Disney Cruise Lines, not Carnival. But I think for Austria, this is actually the first such mandate across Europe, maybe the entire world. So Austria announces Europe's first nationwide vaccine mandate and reimposes lockdown as COVID-19 source. So we know that Europe is like the hot spot, the epicenter right now of the coronavirus. And so, Austria is going into a national lockdown and plans to become the first country in Europe to make COVID-19 vaccinations mandatory for all eligible people as the nation's coronavirus crisis deepens. He announced it Friday, today. Yeah,
wow.
The Chancellor, Alexander Schallenberg.
Okay.
So, yes.
Any other crazy news happening this morning?
I think that there was something about the RCIP looking for a wanted man that was kind of weird.
Was that why the helicopter was up and the cops were driving around everywhere?
The Iron Ching Ching?
Yeah.
Well,
the weird thing about it is they released this statement about
I love it.
There was an incident with a wanted man that happened yesterday afternoon, and they said nobody was injured. He brandished a knife and threatened them. But then they don't even tell you who they're looking for. I'm like,
or where? I mean, I saw it up over kind of by Tropical Garden area.
Yeah, we could be more helpful to them if maybe we knew.
We'll get a description of the guy in a month. Everybody, don't worry.
All right, Sandy.
I hate to say this because listen, I had a very helpful police officer yesterday, and then 2 other ones showed up when I got into my little smash yesterday. Not my fault again. Everybody, just take a break, take a second before you go and do any random turn on the street, because you might just turn into someone in their brand new truck with their kids in the car.
Happy Friday. All right, Sandy, we're going to let you get going. We've got our psychic medium, Mary Dalba, next, but we've got Old School Fridays as well. The year is 1993. What's your song?
Informer by Snow.
Informer by Snow.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
From 1993. Good song.
Seriously.
We'll let you get going on your show on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend.
You have a good weekend.
Bye, everyone.
All right,
All right, folks. Let's get it. Let's get it. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Tracy. Happy Friday. In belly. Is that how we pronounce it? Oh, I'm sorry if I've gotten that wrong, but good morning. Marshall is here. Says, I can only imagine that most of the folks that will end up in hospital will be those that are unvaccinated. Carol is here. Yes, it was Disney. My apologies to Carnival. Carnival, don't be sending me no letters now. Hello, Bob. It says everyone is going to be infected with the virus eventually. The vaccine doesn't prevent the spread of the virus. Well, had everyone been vaccinated, it would have. I was actually reading an article about that, about the fact that people just did not. The uptake in the vaccine has just been so slow, and that has definitely helped the virus to stay alive and helped, mutations to emerge, and mutations might continue to emerge as well. So I do have some answers to the questions you guys had yesterday about the upcoming reopening. So yeah, Europe is the epicenter of this thing right now. Super, super crazy. Austria is not joking. They're going to mandate it for every single person. And all other vaccines are probably mandated in Austria anyway. So they're like, listen, we're done playing with everybody. Let me see if I can find that article about there was an article. So there's an article that popped up on my timeline, I think it was. And the whole focus was whether or not if people had actually gotten vaccinated early on, how it could have been a real possibility of near elimination. And then, of course, what ended up happening was the Delta variant came along. And that is why it's making, it has made this concept of herd immunity, even by way of, what's it called? By vaccination, a possibility. So can COVID be eradicated is the question. I mean, at this stage, the answer seems to be no, but it can certainly become endemic, which is what Bob was just saying. And that's true. It will become endemic at some point. Good morning, Jake. We have not seen you in a while. I see you've been vacationing and stuff. I feel like you've been having fun without us and not sharing any of the photos on here. Cindy, good morning. Good morning, Richie, Celine, and Richie. Probably sipping on some cappuccino. Maria, good morning. Good morning. Oh, wow, I got that pronunciation right. Ooh, that was a tough one. I don't know if I should try it again. Good morning to Miss Sue. Yeah, she's not feeling well. She's actually sleeping in this morning. So I'm like, let her rest. Good morning to Hero Blair. So I'm thankful. Every morning I'm going to get up and do my COVID test. Still negative. This is one of those things. There we go. Where is it? Where's the camera? There we go. This is one of those things that you definitely don't want to be positive for. Most people are having mild to moderate symptoms, I suppose. But, nobody wants even a 5-year-old to have any kind of symptoms. So fingers crossed. Last night, it seems like it was more her nose that was bothering her. And so I gave her a little something for the congestion, and then she's a little bit of a cough. Carol keeps saying that they need to stop doing exit tests after 10 days because it just doesn't make any sense. Diamond Princess says it can happen. My mom and brother in Miami and my brother's girlfriend all live together. His girlfriend was positive, and my brother and mom never got it. Yeah, I think it becomes more difficult when you are in the same, like, we were trying to isolate dad to the other side of the house, and it was really difficult. I must say, one good thing about yesterday, with her being positive and him being positive, is she could actually just go and give him a hug. Trust me, that's all she wanted anyway. So I was like, well, both of you have COVID together. So now, you can hang out all day, watch your little TV and do whatever. And I'll deliver your lunches and that sort of thing. Good morning, Chantal. Thank you so much. Little Powell is in the house. Sari is here. Vernita, good morning to you. Good news. Vernita got her first shot. Was it yesterday, Vernita? I think it was yesterday. So remember, Vernita is essentially a shut-in. She doesn't really get out. And so she was able to get her first shot. So we've got a bit of sad news. I'm hearing again this morning, another Caymanian has passed away. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but someone who, he's been sickly, I feel like, for a while. So, I'm hearing multiple people say that he has passed away. So he would be from East End. So I'll check with some of my East End sources. But I definitely think that it's true already. But I'm going to just check one of my deep East End sources. Hold on. Let me just check this person. But the word is already starting to circulate, so I'm pretty sure that it's true. So we'll post that up a little bit later on. Irvin says, do you trust the LFT? Well, there's a reason why they tell you to do it every single day. Because once your viral load gets a certain amount, the LFT will eventually pick it up. So the PCR test obviously goes a little bit further up than the lateral flow test. And the PCR test is much more accurate because it's much more sensitive. So I have confirmed this person has passed away. I might tell you guys later on in the show. So yes, you can trust it when it tells you you're positive. It's the negative, the false negatives that might be a problem. But I did do a PCR test as well on Monday. So, and the PCR test on Monday was also negative. So we shall see. So we got to do, what do we got to do now? We got to wait for 10 days. I always have to go and refer back to the steps involved and all of this. I think we got to wait now for 10 days. Well, the positives definitely have to stay home, and they've got to hang tight, and then lateral flow test after 10 days in isolation. So let me see here. So if you're positive for the lateral flow, individuals in the household with a positive lateral flow must isolate at home and contact public health. Individuals with a negative in the household result can attend school and work daily if daily results continue to be negative. Now, public health, I was trying to report my results to them yesterday, and the link that I was given wasn't working. It says 404 cannot be found. Let me try it another browser, because one thing I've noticed, and this has been for years now, and I don't know why government doesn't fix this. Oh, that URL doesn't work. I was going to say sometimes I found that sometimes I found that certain government, even like the main government page, does not work in Chrome. And I don't know why they wouldn't make it compatible, because I'm pretty sure that Chrome is probably the most popular browser. I think most people use Google Chrome. But I found that a lot of times certain URLs just do not work for that. So maybe this person just sent me the wrong URL. So I'll just double check that. But yeah, and I've kind of mentioned it to powers that be before, and nothing has really ever been done about it. So sometimes I'll open, gov.ky in Chrome, and it just doesn't work. Mind you, they have done quite a bit of work on the website more recently. So I think it's a little bit more stable since like all the COVID stuff, and they've been redoing the website because the entire front end of the website has been redone. And then sometimes they just really take their time with updating, certain aspects of the website as well. Like, remember a couple of weeks ago, we mentioned with the Case Foundation, which I'm going to talk about them in a little bit, how we were able to find the board, board members. And apparently I said, that's like 8 years ago. Like, I'm like, surely the board has changed in 8 years, but I wasn't sure because that's all that was available online. And sure enough, I've been able to confirm because somebody messaged and said, oh no, I'm no longer on that board. Don't mix me up in this foolishness. And so apparently that has changed and just hasn't been updated on the government website, which is like pure slackness. I cut my finger last night. I'm just having a look at it to see how bad it looks actually. Ugh. Yes, I cut my finger chopping up some seasoning for some pork chops. I intended to cook the pork chops last night and then have them later on today for lunch or an early dinner for the COVID crew. But I cut my finger and it was, what time was this? This would have been like after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And then Gigi was like calling for me. She was refusing to hang out with Dad anymore. She's like, I want mommy. And I'm like, are you sure you want me? Because you're COVID positive right now. But of course, I knew that was going to happen. Every time she gets sick, I mean, her and Daddy are like tight BFFs forever. Except when she's sick, then she's like, when she's not feeling good, it's my arms apparently that feel good. So I wasn't surprised by the request, but she'd been napping. She was sleeping previously because she kind of went to bed super early for her anyway. And so, I was like, all right, let me, season up my pork chops and get those going. And then, when I was cutting up all my bell peppers and stuff, the knife kind of slipped and cut my finger. And it's one of those like little serrated knives. It's, I forget these are the colored ones. I forget which one. You see them around all the time, but they are really sharp. Like the only time I've ever cut my finger, it's been on one of those knives. They are extremely sharp knives. I've had them for a couple of years now, but they're still super sharp. So folks, be careful. So it doesn't look too bad, to be honest. I'll put some peroxide or something on it later on. It'll be fine. Yeah, so pork chops later on. Natasha, good morning. She says, friend fully vaccinated and tested positive. Her boyfriend and 5-year-old unvaccinated never caught it, and they were all isolated together. This thing is just so weird. Yeah, all sorts of combinations. Tracy says, OMG, how many times do I have to say vaccinated does not mean your immune system, honest to goodness, practice the protocols. 14 days for children because they're unvaccinated still. Oh, I need to look at that schematic again. Thank you, Irvelyn. Miss Joy San said, praying the best for all. Kayleen says there are a lot of government sites I can only open in Firefox or Edge. Yes, it is very, very weird, to be honest. A little frustrating. Christine, good morning. Louis is here, joining us from Detroit. Came on in Detroit. How's the weather, Louis? So, it is Friday. So happy Friday to all of you. The headline for the Telegraph this morning says Europe is staring down the barrel of full lockdowns as the fourth wave of COVID brings sweeping restrictions, even for vaccinated people. So, yes, Europe maybe just went a little bit too free for a long time. So I've got someone who's been sending me some really interesting messages. I don't know what to say. Now, you guys have to tell me. What do you think? Tell me what your thoughts are. Do you think that COVID brought out the crazy people? So in other words, they were like crazy before COVID. And so COVID has just given them the opportunity to be even crazier? Or do you think that they weren't crazy, but COVID has kind of like set them crazy? So what I'm talking about is people who believe all the crazy conspiracy theories that are out there. And trust me, there are a lot of them. So I've got someone who's been messaging me since yesterday about the fact that they are spraying cancer. The boosters are cancer. This is latest. I don't know if it's latest or whatever, because I really can't keep up with all the conspiracies, right? So it says that the booster is actually what's going to kill you. It's just finished up all with underlying conditions. And apparently it's spraying cancer into the air. And if you've had the vaccine, you can't smell the, how do they describe it? Like the whole thing is so weird. I can't believe that people actually take time to read and digest this foolishness. But apparently there's something about if you've had the vaccine, you're unable to smell the poison that they're putting into the atmosphere. And then they go on to say, and the LFT, so nothing, you can't LFT, you can't wear masks. It's like the conspiracy theories have come up with a reason to not do any of the stuff that's going to keep us safe. That to me is the most shocking thing. Like, even if you were like, okay, well, I don't feel comfortable with the vaccine, I'm against the vaccine, whatever, right? But they came up with everything. They don't want a lateral flow test. They don't want a PCR test. They don't want to wear a mask. They probably don't even want to wash their hands. I'm like, seriously, ooh, washing hands is apparently going to really give you germs, not the opposite. It's just mind blowing. But this person has been messaging me. I think I'm going to have to soon block them because I really can only take so much ridiculousness. So it says on the LFT, if you put any juice on it, you'll get a positive result, or even from fruits. Try and see if you can smell gasoline. If vaccinated, you will not smell it. What the fuck? I'm sorry. Excuse me, but really? An unvaccinated person or someone where the efficacy reduced to nothing can also smell it. The people who are jabbed lost their smell for gasoline, which is the cancer. So if you cannot smell gasoline, you cannot smell the COVID, which has a gasoline smell. And the boosters will just finish up who has an underlying illness. And I mean, the messages just go on and on and on and on. And then they started early this morning at like 5:37 in the friggin' morning. About, oh, there's no virus here. You know, it's like, dude, you need to get COVID. Like, seriously, you need to get COVID. Just shut the frig up. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to make me pop off some words this morning. How stupid can you be? Of course I can smell gasoline, you donkey. Why wouldn't I be able to smell gasoline? There's nothing wrong with my sense of smell or taste. And it certainly hasn't changed because I got a vaccine. Jesus, take the wheel. So Natasha says that was the boyfriend's argument why he refused to get vaccinated. He gets PCR tested weekly and takes an LFT every day because of his job. So he thinks, let me try and understand what you're saying. He thinks that so far because he's negative, that means that he'll never get it. I'm not really sure that makes any logical sense. He might have just been lucky that one time. But remember, folks, COVID is something you can get more than once is the other thing as well. So South Marjorie says business places don't even sanitize anymore after cases are found. And some places don't even want coworkers to tell each other that they've tested positive. Why? Because they don't want to have to shut down because they're losing business, having to shut down and deep sanitize and that sort of thing, which is unfortunate. Because, you know, I'm not saying you, depending on the nature of your business, you may not have to shut down completely, because listen, we know that this is an airborne virus for the most part, right? So sanitizing surfaces, yes, by all means, do that. But you're talking about this being in the air. That's how you're going to get it. Talking to someone who has COVID, being in that space for, 15 minutes with them, that sort of thing, right? So coworkers who are in very close proximity with each other, who spend a lot of time with each other, need to be particularly careful. And, if you can wear a mask at work, you can certainly try that. My husband wore a mask at work all day and he still got it. So nothing is a guarantee, because there's so many factors that can play into this. And we know that it is highly contagious. And but you take all the steps that you can. So why wouldn't someone tell you with a communicable disease that they're positive in a work environment? I have no idea. It's not like it's the plague or it's, I don't know, like we need to normalize this. It's like back in the day when HIV first started. I don't know how many of you might remember, this was the mid 80s, when there was a frenzy about it. And, people like, well, HIV is obviously a very different disease, first of all, in terms of how you contract it. But, people like Princess Diana had to normalize it. She'd go and touch AIDS patient. Now, you don't want to do that with a COVID patient. I mean, trust me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just normalize it to the point where, okay, you're COVID positive. You should isolate. You should do certain things to try to, slow down the risk of you spreading it to other people. But what's the big deal with telling people? It's like holding on to that information can probably only do more harm than good. Jason says all of the above. Oh my goodness. Luis, mom has a birthday. Miss Florence Brown, a senior Caymanian. Well, happy birthday to Miss Florence. I hope you have many, many more to come and you enjoy some cake today on your birthday. Damien says, was Lolita Express from the 90s? Lolita, what's Lolita Express? Is that a song? I have no clue. South Marjorie says, this thing hit my friend and her kids so hard, I cried for them. Oh my gosh, not good. Yes, Jake. These people just got me like, I'm confused. I can't even keep up with the craziness. And I kind of think that, I gotta tell you a theory about me and crazy people. I do think that crazy people are attracted to me. My aunt says that she thinks it's because I'm too, I don't know that nice is the right word, but I'm too accommodating to people who are a little bit crazy. And the fact that I even listen to their nonsense, she says, encourages them to be crazy. I'm trying my best not to be rude, right? So let me give you a perfect example of this. What's her name? Lavelle started messaging me. I think it was day before yesterday. I didn't actually realize that it was her. So she sent a video of herself twerking and working up her behind, right? I didn't even watch the video. I just saw the headline. I was like, oh, I said, yeah, she needs professional help, not realizing it was actually her that was sending me the video. So of course she's going to take offense to someone saying that she needs professional help. That's why she says that Dr. Lockhart, oh, this is it. Oh, wait a minute. Did I not send it to, hold on one second. Sorry, folks. So when I said, she needs professional help, right. So when I said that she needs professional help, she took offense to that. Sometimes the truth is very, very hurtful. And then she starts going on about, oh, you're the one who needs professional help. And I'm like, okay, well, I accept I need professional help too. Not the same kind as you, honey child. But I suspect a lot of us need professional help. And I actually get it when I need it. And I'm still saying that you need professional help. In fact, you should probably be on medication to control these schizophrenic religious delusions and other things that you have. So Then yesterday, I guess she had to think about what I was saying for a while. I'm not sure, but took her, the next day to respond. And she comes back, sends me a voice note about, oh, Miss Sandra Catron. First of all, that's not my name. So put some respect and get it right. It's Sandra Hill to you, honey chill. Because I had said to her, I said, you should be ashamed of yourself. Like, you're a disgrace out there twerking your nasty looking ass up around people in front of the glass house. I mean, really? Protesting is one thing, right? And you can protest with a degree of class. What you're doing out there, changing clothes, putting on the shortest possible shorts that your behind can fit in, and twerking so we can see your privates. You should be ashamed of yourself. And I said, it's really disgusting. And I don't know if no one's telling you this or you're not listening to it, but allow me to be the person who's going to give you a dose of cold hard truth. Well, she comes back with a voice note. Oh, well, the reason you can't twerk yours because you can't fit into these shorts. And I'm like, what? Say what? And then she tries to make some comment about my chasteness, which she knows nothing about. I was like, you know what? I said, Lavelle, before I start to really tell you about your behind, which is what is coming, let me just block you because you're stupid and you still need professional help, right? You think that this voice note and these comments this morning is somehow going to hurt my feelings? I don't want to be out there showing people my privates. Okay? To me, that's not something to be proud of. You're proud of it and you're wearing it like an accolade. Then you're telling me, ooh, the reason why I can't do it is because I can't fit in these shorts. I don't want to do it. That's batshit crazy, girl. What is wrong with you? My aunt would be spinning in her grave if I tried some foolishness like that. She would, my Aunt Lottie would jump out the grave herself and come and smack me down right in front of the glass house. That is exactly what would happen. And the fact that she responded in the way that she did. And then of course, always got to bring God up in it. Oh, and yes, you need to repent and God and blah, blah, blah. I said, Lord Jehovah. That I'm sure that God is just sitting there on his little throne thinking, why did I create humans? They are the stupidest bunch of, I should have just stopped at dogs. Dogs are so awesome. I should have just stopped right there. These humans don't have one lick of sense. I tried making them the most intelligent of all creatures, and look at what I've done. Given the fools free choice, and they have chosen to be stupid. I'm sure God must be having some serious conversations. He's like, why did I do this? Oh my God, I can't even. So I don't know what it is with the crazies, but they love to be messaging me. And thank God for that block button is all I can tell you. Because this little one today is going to be blocked. And now he's going on and on about free the media. And I'm like, well, I'm all for freedom of media, but freedom of media to give out fake news and fake information isn't my definition of freedom of media. Speaking of freedom of media, Rachel says, good morning. So many stupid conspiracy theories. Interesting how it's the same 12 social media accounts pushing them and making lots of money out of useless supplements, fake cures, webinars, and books. Well, I must say that Cayman has its own fair share of conspiracy theories. And I have been surprised at some, and then others, not so much. Like some people really have not surprised me at all. So listen, folks, I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you to please stock up on your hand sanitizers. I'm actually going to Reliable Supplies today, get some gloves. I have the plastic ones from the kitchen, but I need some of the other gloves as well, because there are times when when you're doing certain things around the place, you want to make sure that you protect your hands, because then that's where, wash your hands, but also when you're doing certain activities, folks, protect your hands, sanitize and so on whenever you cannot wash your hands. So washing your hands is always the first line of defense. Warm, soapy water. When you can't, you're on the go, you're at work all day, get yourself some Purell sanitizers.
Purell hand sanitizer products are available at Reliable Supplies. Contact us today for Purell hand wipes that are convenient to carry with you, or alcohol-based hand sanitizer pump, ideal for offices, schools, and homes. Contact Reliable Supplies today to get your COVID-19 supply at 949-9303, or stop by our showroom, centrally located off Compass Drive.
Yes. So what was I telling y'all? Oh, about crazy people. Yes, there's a lot in Cayman, and I have been a little bit surprised by some of them. A lot of them not so much so, because I think that there's certain little indicators that have made itself apparent to me before, that I'm not surprised at. So once they started on the whole, um, you know, COVID situation, I'm like, not surprised, really not. But it runs the gamut. It takes all kinds to buy into these sorts of things. And even with this guy, when I said to him, well, what proof do you have? You're saying that, people can't smell gasoline and this. I mean, surely there's a massive amount of proof, because there's been over 6 billion people worldwide who've been vaccinated. If 6 billion people lost their sense of smell, then for gasoline in particular, I'm pretty sure we would have evidence of that. So I'm like, well, where's your proof? Oh, well, I don't have any proof. Right. You have no proof. And you're talking to me because you have no proof and what? Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about that conspiracy theory, my child. Listen, conspiracy theories are a dime a dozen. And I'm not saying that every single conspiracy doesn't have maybe some nugget of truth. Like, I don't really know. Like, there's so many out there that we'd have to address the specific ones, right? And I think that the things that people really need to be the most concerned about are the things that kind of go over their head that they don't even see. So yes, there's a general mistrust of government. I don't see anything wrong with that. It doesn't mean that every single thing government tells you is going to be a lie. It means that you approach things with a discerning spirit, as the old folks would say. And so you question everything, whether you like someone or not. You don't take things at face value. And I'm a bit surprised that people, let me tell y'all something. Where's Cameron this morning? Cameron made a comment the other day. It wasn't even, the irony of it is, it wasn't even on a, I think it was like on a business post or something. For one of the local companies that is advertising in CMR. And she's like, oh, are they selling democracy? And then some other comment. And I was like, what? When a company decides to advertise on CMR, like, I'm actually offended that some of you think that you can just put the most ridiculous comments under their thread, because I think, in fact, that's actually really rude, especially if it has nothing to do with the company or the product or the services that they offer. So there is that. But apart from that, she then goes on, she posted, I don't know I can't remember if Cameron's a man or a woman, because it's one of those accounts that's like, you can't really tell. So he or she, maybe a man, I can't remember I think at some point he or she corrected me, but now I can never remember, and said, oh yeah, CMR isn't like tackling, you're not talking about anything political anymore. And I'm like, okay, let me try to explain this to you all so that you can really understand how this works. During the election, the vast majority of the conversation was of a political nature, because it's an election. And so you need to be talking about the track records of individuals, of candidates. Do I choose candidate number A over candidate number B? Or, So now that the election is over, by a natural progression of things, follow the logic here now, of course, the conversation is going to be less political. You can't get away from politics all the time, because the progressives are still out there playing their little troll games in the background. The PAC government has internal politics that we're aware of. And so sometimes that comes up. But she or he, I don't know, whatever, let's just call Cameron a she, was trying to insinuate that CMR isn't talking about the tough issues anymore. And so I said, Cameron, it's obvious that you've not been paying attention. Now, I know you have another show over there that a lot of this conspiracy theories really enjoy listening to. So maybe Cameron's over there listening to that show. But Cameron hasn't been paying attention over here. We are not going to be any softer on the PAC government, although I'm wishing them all the success in the world. And I've said this before. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not pro-PAC government. Of course I am. I want them to succeed. I want them to get it right. I want them to fix some of the issues. I wish they could fix everything, but you can't fix everything overnight. I want them to focus and fix the issues that this country is facing. I have to live here, right? I'm not hoping for their demise. But their acronym stands for certain things. And in that is the word accountability. And so they will be held accountable by me. This isn't a question of, oh, I'm going to fall asleep on the job now and not hold them accountable. But you know what? If you actually listen to the show and you see what we do, this would not even be a concern in your mind. This is where the progressive, they're trying to push this narrative out there. Mario and his bandwagon team is trying to push this narrative out there. Oh, Sandy is not as tough anymore. Actually, who else, including Mario, as an example, talked about the fiasco of the Case Foundation the other day when this man was arrested for having sex with a minor, sexual assault? Who else was talking about why Case continues to fail and that the government needs to do a complete clean sweep of the entire board and staff, as far as I'm concerned? Fire them all. Nobody was having that conversation but CMR. And yet we're soft in the government. This is a perfect example of confirmation bias, right? So there are those people who are pushing this narrative that, oh yeah, Sandy has now arrived. Well, yeah, okay, I'll accept that. We've arrived in terms of the establishment. The government now has given us a press pass. Woohoo! So now we can officially attend the press conferences. We were attending the press conferences virtually with the rest of you. We were live streaming it, although we didn't have a press pass. If we weren't getting our questions asked, we were still asking them in a public forum and asking the government to be accountable to those questions. So not much has changed. But this is like the green-eyed monster in Cayman, right? So they see you have one or two little advertisers, and they'll be like, oh yeah, Sandy's raking in the money. She's so soft. She's so good. I'm like, what? People don't know the reality of anything that happens when you run a business when they don't. They don't even know that there's stuff that we put up that, as a matter of fact, just last week, a company who doesn't advertise with us reached out to another company who works with us to say, oh, I'm going to pull my advertising from you because you work with CMR. I'm like, not connected to that company. And thankfully, the company that they were threatening with action had to say, hold on a second. Number one, we do a lot of business with you too. So this is going to go both ways. And number two, we support CMR, but that doesn't mean that every single thing that Sandy posts up or that CMR writers post up is going to be like something that we have to agree with or not agree with. And this was one of those situations where the person didn't even know that there was a follow-up to what they had an issue with. And so for those of you who sit down and think, oh, CMR has arrived, and it's all a walk in the park, and it's all, everybody's just throwing money at us and blah, 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 you have no clue what actually happens. You have no clue of the daily struggles. And then on top of that, you also have no clue what we do. So a lot of companies that you see us working with, we actually manage social media content for them. So we do everything from creation of content all the way through to the distribution. And a lot of people don't know that. So they want to sit down and begrudge us, and they have no clue what we do. And it's really sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get into this space and you have a service to offer people, then by all means, you offer your service. We offer a service that people see works and that they want to purchase because it does work. It gets them results. It doesn't mean that everybody or anybody is giving us a free pass, or they're not unique struggles that we continue to face every single day. And by the way, this lawsuit with government and the lateral flow tests, who were the first ones to put it out there but CMR? That's not a situation that makes this government look good. Did you guys read the article? There is an allegation of political interference. And I've said in the article, and I'm saying it today, I'm waiting on the FOI so that you and we can all go through the details of what transpired. Because if that allegation is proven to be correct in a court of law, we got a problem, and a big one. No one ever wants political interference when it comes to government contracts. Now, the motive might have been good. I don't know if the FOI documents will show any motive one way or the other. So the motive may have been, oh, I thought that the civil service had gotten it wrong, and so I wish to now correct it. But you have to do things by the book. There is this procurement law that explains how the procurement process should work. And that, yes, there are exceptions to sending it to the central tendering committee. And these are the exceptions, and these are the circumstances, and this is how you can justify it, and this is what you need to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there is a process, and no one should seek to work outside of the process, no matter what the reasons may be. If you have concerns, there are ways in which to address the concerns within the process. Who else is having this conversation? Nobody. So, like I said, Cameron's not even here this morning. He or she, whatever it, has been MIA for quite some time. So when you ask those sorts of questions like, oh yeah, you're not talking about politics anymore or whatever, I'm like, we're talking about the issues that face this country every single day. Because you're not paying attention to the issues can't mean that you can come to a conclusion about what CMR is doing or not doing. Now, right now, we got 2 cases, folks, that we are working on. King is here. King is in the house. What's up? We've got 2 cases right now that we are working on, folks, with people who are taking advantage of other people in this community. In short, thieves. Now, y'all know how I feel about a thief and a liar. Those will be revealed in short order. One story will actually go up today, and the other one, y'all have to give me about another week or so. And, you know, there's a reason why I need to wait a little bit. And sometimes I have now recognized the importance of waiting before dropping a story. Someone is saying that another talk show host, they're wondering why that person would ever be talking about sex with minors when he allegedly preys on very young girls. By the way, so-and-so's wife has once again kicked him out. Well, you know, this is the drama of the life of people who are in the public eye, and they want to pretend to be living a certain existence when the reality is they're not. You know, I try to operate on a degree of honesty. Now, do I tell you guys every single thing that happens in my life? No. If I need to go to the bathroom right now and take a little poop break, I'm not going to tell you that. That ain't none of your business. But, you know, I'm on here over the past year and a bit. You guys have gotten to know me. We share a lot. I do share some stuff about my family. Now, it just so happens that I'm married to a man who's a very private man. He's not about sharing his business with nobody. That's not his personality. You know, he's got like 2 friends. I have 5 and he's got 2. And so, you know, he keeps it very, very tight. And there's been times when he's heard people say, oh, Sandy was talking about dinner. He calls me like, why are you talking about business on your show? You know, he's not about it at all. And that's just who he is. And I've tried to explain to him, I'm in a little bit of a different space, honey. You know, I'm a little bit of a public space. I'm not like a public servant in the sense of I'm not a politician. But people do have access to me. People who share their lives with me. I share my lives with you guys. You know, this is like the connection. This is the process. And it's a genuine situation, you know. He doesn't get it, Chell. If it was up to him, we wouldn't even be here having this show. He's like, what do you need to talk shit for? You know, but I'm like, as a Canadian, there are issues that this country needs to discuss. And I'm giving people the avenue to have the dialogue. He doesn't get involved in politics. He doesn't care about politics. I'm surprised that he could even tell you who the leader of government business is, because that just isn't, he's like, whatever. He doesn't get in politics from Jamaica, where he's from. He's just like, politics makes people crazy. That's his general consensus on it. You know, he's not into parties. He's just like, nope, nope, and nope. So Purell says, Sandy, don't lose your cool, ridiculous things. It's not worth it. You're doing the right thing and you're leading us to the right facts and good direction. Stay blessed. Thank you, my dear. But yeah, it's just a little bit frustrating when people try to make comments that are not true. And I think that they have convinced themselves against confirmation bias They've convinced themselves if they say it enough times, it's going to be true. And I'm just like, that doesn't make something true. So people need to stay steadfast in their truth. And people will know. I feel like people will know whether you're a genuine person or not based on your actions. You can talk the talk all you want. This is what I keep encouraging y'all to do. Lots of people jump up and they talk and they talk and they talk. Lips like blip, 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 blip. Look at the person's actions. What actions past and present? Because some of y'all be like, well, Sandy, let's give them a second chance. Because we're a Christian nation that believes in giving people, even child molesters, we want to give a second chance. Like I hand them the whole church full of children. So let's give them a second chance and see if they're going to do it again. For most people, past behavior is a prediction of future behavior. Can people change? Absolutely. Change is the hardest thing in the world, though. And it often takes someone making a concerted effort to change. Because whatever that is about you is ingrained in your psyche, almost ingrained in your DNA, or it can be ingrained in your DNA. And it's hard to break the cycle. It's like multi-generational curses. Boy, is it ever hard to break one. Because you do what you know. And I have said time and time again, it's fine that people can jump up and tell you all sorts of stuff and it sounds good in the moment and you want to believe them. But look at their track record. They want to say to you, oh, let's lambast organizations like DART. DART is a fraudster. Jackie, what's her name? Doik is a fraudster, this, that, and the next thing. I said, okay. Let's look at the context of those comments. Those comments have come lately because of what? When those people had contracts with the DART organization, which they have had contracts with the DART organization, were they cussing DART then? Were they cussing Jackie then? Were they going on the fool? So you only have something to say about someone when they're of no use to you? When they're not lining your pockets? You're pissed off with the current government because you didn't get a seat at the table? What does that say about you? It says a lot, actually. And this is where I invite people to pay attention to these things. Pay attention to the details. It's great that people can say things to you, but sometimes you got to check the motive of why they're saying the things that they do. Ms. Sue says she's on bipolar medication, but she doesn't take it. And then she goes on her high and carry on the way that she does. And listen, we've talked about on this show in a very serious context, bipolar disorder. I have known people who were, and I guess if they're still alive, this is back in my university day where I got to know someone very, very well who's bipolar. There's other people that have recognized that they're bipolar, but I don't invite them in my personal space, right? So unless they are someone who's already close to me and this manifests themselves, there's certain things that I can't take on. I do my best to help a lot of people, but I understand my limitations. And so, can't save the world. Somebody said you can die trying. Well, you can help as many people as you can, but you also have to recognize that there's some people who are not within the realm of what you can do. And that's why when I say somebody needs professional help, I'm not trying to insult people. If I tell you need professional help, what's wrong with professional help? Professional help's a good thing. Like I said, we all need it on occasion. Louis, thank you so much for the support. King is doing some chores and listening in at the same time. Love it. Joining us in the UK. Now, folks, next week, Wednesday, we should be having the premiere on as part of our, now he's committed. I like this because I think this is hopefully going to work well. He has committed to coming on and doing a Q&A segment with us. So what that means is every Wednesday, now we switched it to Wednesday evening. This is why I'm remembering this to tell King about it. because King, I don't want you to miss out. And I know the time frame is a little bit different for you, obviously. But he has agreed to come on and do a Q&A segment just with him. And we're going to do it hopefully bi-monthly. Now, of course, his schedule's busy, but what we've had to do is we've had to switch it to the evening hours, because his mornings, Monday mornings, they're in caucus, Tuesday mornings, they're in cabinet. And so it gets a little bit more tricky. Now, obviously, there might be some sessions when they're actually in the Legislative Assembly, and, the LA can run well into the evening hours, and that could be a little bit more challenging. But the idea here, folks, is that we are going to have, we're calling it Premier Access with the Premier, and we're going to be doing that starting, well, we did a Q&A segment last week or the week before? And so now we're going to do one, the next one will be next week Wednesday. So here's the thing, right? I want to be, honesty is extremely important. And I know I've been over this story a million times, and it probably is worth repeating for, again, the Camerons of the world who are really not paying attention. Wayne Panton and I are not BFFs. We're not best friends. But our relationship goes way back. So much so that a lot of you may not know this, but when I was trying to think about this the other day. How did I meet Wayne? 19, hold on. 1080. I'm just sending this guy a message about something. I think he sent me the wrong size for something. I can't even remember, honestly, how I met Wayne. I feel like it would have logically been, because when I moved back to Cayman in 1996, so I just finished university, I feel like it would have had to have been, because I worked at not Maples. I worked at Walker's very, very briefly, like maybe 6 months or something. And then when I was applying for law school, I applied for their scholarship program. And I also applied for a scholarship from Maples. And so Maples actually gave me better terms for a scholarship. Like Maples was really like, oh yeah, here's what we can offer, blah, blah, blah. So I decided to go with that option. And I suspect at the time that I was there, I would have met Wayne Panton. Now, I don't know. I can't really recall how we came to form a better acquaintance over the years, but I actually had Wayne's phone number. His phone number's never changed, by the way. And I would call Wayne for advice and all sorts of stuff. And we lived in, I lived in Newlands forever. When I moved back, that's where I settled, in Newlands. And he lived in Newlands. So, our paths would cross. Politically, our paths would cross. You guys know that I was in the Progressives. Now, this would have been way before he became an elected member, because I already had left the Progressives by the time that he became that involved. So he was still very much a partner at Walker's. And I'll tell you what, back in 2009, when I first started having issues with the police, when I got arrested for stealing this dog, he was actually the first person that I called when the police showed up at my door. And I was like, Wayne, the police are here. They're accusing me of stealing this dog. Here's what went down. What should I do? And he was like, I can't remember what advice he gave me, actually. And then after that, the next person I called, funny enough, was Margaret Ramsey. And I said, Margaret, the police are here. What do you think I should do? She actually had to recuse herself in the case because of that conversation, because she was the one who said, Sandra, keep the dog, because you did not steal that dog by law. Tell them to prove it. And so when they decided to make this whole, like, I accuse me of stealing the dog and whatever, she was like, okay, I can't obviously hear this case. I have to recuse myself. In 2011, when I decided as a direct result of that dog theft case, I decided, you know what? I'm going to go back and do the PPC because I need to obviously know a little bit more about the law in a practical sense to prepare myself, because I could see the police were going to be coming at me with a vengeance after I made them lose that case and look really stupid. And so I decided, right, I want to go and do the PPC because then that gives me the option if I ever want to try to get articles and get called to the bar, at least the option is there. If I don't do the PPC, the option isn't even there. And because it was a very last minute decision, I even had to appeal to the Legal Advisory Council to get into the PPC because it had been so long since a law degree and now trying to do this, right? And again, I had to reach out to Wayne. I'm like, Wayne, I'm in a little bit of a situation here because I didn't really plan this, which is, my fault. I don't have any funding in place. I missed the scholarship deadline, so I had to wait for the following year to try to apply for a scholarship. It is only a 1-year course, so that's not really probably going to help me at all. And I reached out to him, and he said, Sandy, you should do it. You should definitely do it, and I will help you with your first half of your tuition fees. He said, I can't commit to any more than that right now because I'm helping other students and blah, blah, blah. Right? And I got to tell you, he's always had a reputation of helping people. Even some of his political allies, if they were to be honest with you, they would tell you that this man, the same Wayne Panton now that they want to be saying all kind of foolishness about, helped them get in business. When nobody else would give them a job, nobody else would hire them. They had a business idea, but they needed that startup money. Guess who they could go to? None other than the premier, Wayne Panton, because he's just that kind of person. If he can help you, he's going to help you. Look at Mario. Who gave Mario, what was it, $5,000 to get his talk show started? I mean, the irony of it. I'm sure the premier is probably kicking himself in the rear end right now. But who gave him the money to get that show off the ground and started, to be able to hire Luis, to hire a person to even do production? Y'all want the cold hard truth? Well, the cold hard truth is the person who gave him the money is Wayne Panton. He went begging Wayne. So it's so funny. And this is what I talk about, how it's necessary to be honest, It's because when you're not honest, people like me who know a little bit better and probably a little bit more than the average person will sit down and question your motives. Like, the man isn't going to give you $5,000 a month. That wasn't the deal. The deal was you need something to kind of get started. And then you would go out there and get your own advertisers and do your own thing, show people why your platform is meaningful to them. That hasn't necessarily happened. But let's be fair. This man gave you a hand when nobody else. Mario could not have gone to anybody else, including the progressives. Alden wouldn't have given him $5,000. Kurt Tibbetts wouldn't have given him $5,000. He could have gone to no one else. And it's not that him and Wayne Panton are friends. Let me tell y'all a story. Miss Ann, good morning. Alexis, so nice to see you. Thank you, Larry. Damien says a leopard never changes its spots, means that it's impossible for one to change their character. I don't know. I mean, I think that with the right amount of help, that people can change. But I think what ends up happening is that statement remains true, Damien, because most people either don't have a true desire to change or they don't have the necessary tools to change. And, that will, sometimes you've got the heart, you've got the desire, you want to make a change. But if no one has given you the tools, you just don't know how to do it. It's like someone who's an alcoholic or drug addict. They know, I got to get off of drugs, but how do I do it? This is an addiction. This is a physical addiction. They just don't know how to do it. Mr. Peter, let's come to that here in a second. Ms. Nona says the premier said it's important that our students' education not be interrupted, hence the use of the lateral flow test. I ask again, why do our students need to be quarantined away from school for 14 days after a brief trip? even if they and everyone in their house are testing negative. Yet another negative student next door that has positive members in their household is free to attend school. Could you please pass this on to the Purell? Lots of traveling families are concerned. I know that he is obviously aware of that concern. We will definitely pass it on again. I think, and I'm going to tell you why, because I actually know the answer, Nona. I do know the answer because yesterday I was, again, querying the same thing myself. And the answer is this. The concern with travelers. So it's not just about, the possibility of being positive. It is about the control of new variants. This is the answer to this question. This is the most direct answer that you're going to get from anybody. So I want you to listen to me very, very carefully. The reason why unvaccinated travelers are being held to a separate standard than the local transmission and people locally who may even test positive is that there's a greater risk of variants of concern being picked up overseas. So in other words, right now, Delta is here. Everybody's getting Delta variant, right? We got to live with that. The Lambda variant, the whatever the new one is that's going to come out, chickenpox and 1 foot leg variant, whatever it's going to be, you're not going to pick that up in Cayman until you start to travel overseas. Because if it's not here now, it's not here now. So it will emerge elsewhere in the world, and you will pick it up elsewhere in the world. So to try to contain the possibility of new and potentially more deadly variants, we don't know what the future holds, being introduced into the local community, that is why travelers are treated differently. And in particular, children who cannot be vaccinated at all. Because like I said earlier, the vaccination, if everybody was to get vaccinated, would help to slow down the spread of the virus significantly. And it would also help to contain mutations from popping up, such as the Delta variant, which is easier to catch, makes you more sick, blah, blah, blah. So that's the, Nona, I hope I made sense. That's the reason why. As simple as I can make it. And so until children are able to get vaccinated in this jurisdiction, I do not see that changing. Yeah. So King says that he'll be tuning in, but it's going to be in the evenings, King. This is why I was saying to you from 7 to 9. So it's 2 hours. I don't know what time that is in the UK. That's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So you might have to stay up with a little glass of something to keep you going, some hot cocoa or something. Miss Janet says, last week the garbage men only took half of my trash and left the rest. The bags were not broken, and they were nicely in bags and placed in trash can. They just came today and only carried some of the garbage. They need to stop this foolishness. Sometimes they throw your garbage bins in the road. What's going on with the garbage guys? They normally do a pretty good job. So I'm wondering if you have some guys on your route who are a little bit slack, because who picks up half the garbage and not the rest? That's weird. Let me see what I can find out about that. I don't know. It's just really, really bizarre. Okay, so Damien says, very kind at heart. Yeah, so listen, at the end of the day, I think people are very complex. Like I think, it's one of the reasons why I don't have time to invest in too many people, like in my personal space, because it takes a lot to really get to know people and appreciate who they are. And so I'm happy having a million acquaintances. Hey girl, how you doing? Tell me a little bit about your kids. Fantastic. And I don't want to go too deep with the conversation. Okay. We keep it moving. Good to see you. Give me a little hug it out, and we're good. It takes a lot to really engage. And I think it depends on your personality, because I am one of those people who can really go deep with people. And so time is of the essence these days. So I've got family obligations. I got a husband, I got a daughter, I've got other things I got going on in community work. So I may not have the time to even engage, if I was interested in engaging with people, as deep as I would like. But I think that sometimes it requires a little bit of a further explanation, right? So when the premier got more involved with the progressives, I wasn't involved with the progressives at that time. Now, you guys might not know this, or if you know it, you might have forgotten it, but do you remember back in, I want to say it might be around 2009 as well. John and what's his name? Mark Scotland were challenged about filing their interest out of time. Do you guys remember that challenge? It was a constitutional challenge. And we had to get QCs and they were arguing the cases. So the progressives were the one who were pushing that narrative. So funny. I wonder if John even knows that. John should go talk to Alden about who was really pushing that. But there was a lot of us in the community who said, no, I mean, if the law says you have to file by a certain date, then, what's the point of the law saying that if you don't have to do that? Again, certainty in law is really, really important. And the progressives were like, yeah, they did it. Because of course, if they could get him unseated, those two were from Bodden town, if they could get them unseated and they had to do a by-election or whatever, it could mean that Ozzy and whoever was running with the progressives at the time would have gotten a seat, right? And the politics was hot back then. So of course the progressives never had the money, as usual. Who do you think paid for the QCs and the lawyers to come and question the constitutionality of what had been done? Wayne Panton. And this is why the progressives loved him, They might not love him if he's questioning them and holding them to task, but Alden loves Wayne's deep pockets and that he is so willing to help even a political party that he believed in. Wayne was willing to help the progressives. Remember the election before the last election when he ran and lost to Alva Saku? And then they did the disclosure of what people sent. Wayne Panton spent what, $900,000 or something ridiculous on behalf of the progressives? The man dropped some money on that election, and not just for his specific campaign. He basically paid for the entire campaign for the progressive government. Well, I should say the Progressive Party. And that allowed enough of them to get in to form their whatever party, whatever coalition, what do they call it? Unity government last time. And I must tell you that the term before that, when Wayne was in, I saw a change in his personality. And I've had this conversation with Wayne. I'm like, Wayne, I don't know what this is all about. I don't know if they brought out the worst in you or whatever happened here, but to me, you changed and you got this holier than thou attitude, which I've seen with other members of the progressives who, when they weren't members of the progressives, they were like really nice people. And as soon as they got a ministerial position, it was like, something different here. And it might not have been obvious to them, but I saw it. And so I've had this conversation with him and I said, listen, this time you're running, I'm wishing you all the best of luck. Luck to everybody. But might I say, if you get in and whatever, well, first of all, if you're going to be working with the progressives, then, me and you not going to really be in any kind of terms because we know they don't have the best interest in nobody but themselves. But you got to keep the attitude in check. And let me say this, there's some candidates now who've been successful that I'm hearing on the streets who are members of the PAC government, that I'm hearing on the streets that their attitude has changed since they have become elected officials. Now, it could just be, and I'm going to balance this off a little bit, that our perception, and I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, and I've said this to people, is it that they have changed or our perception of them now because they have minister in front of their name has changed? Because again, confirmation bias. We think that everybody who's a minister is going to go on a certain way. And whether that person goes on a certain way or not, in our head, like, yeah, they acting different now. I'm like, are they really? Now you can appreciate why you might not be able to get hold of a minister as easily as you did previously. Because, hello, they actually have 2 full-time jobs, minister and representative of the people. And if they don't have a good team surrounding them, they may no longer be able to answer your phone every time you call. They may not be able to WhatsApp you every single day like how they used to. I mean, these are things that really we should all have expected to happen to a certain level. It doesn't mean that they have changed. It means that the circumstances has changed. And it's a lot more difficult for them to just be like, oh, well, I got nothing to do. I'm not running the country. Sure, I can answer your call. Sure, I can WhatsApp you. Sure, I can message you. Yeah, Damien, they actually work in several jobs. So, I think that, we need to give them a little bit of slack in that regard. But I'm hearing other people say, no, Sandy, some of them, they going around like a cockatoo with the head stuck up in the air and the behind the bonket pushed out a little bit extra these days. And they think they know everything and people can't talk to them. And even in the civil service, the civil servants are saying, woo, donkey, hold on now. What's going on, my friend? You've been acting like you just too good, like your shit don't stink. And as Caymanians especially, we don't like that. We don't like you to go on like you so extra. Bring it down a couple notches, my friend. Remember where you come from. Humble yourself. Most importantly, remember that it's the humble people who put you there. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. The premier has been criticized for being too humble. I know it's kind of crazy, but I just got to tell y'all this. And they're like, tell him that he must use the word premier in his name because he is the premier of the Cayman Islands. And he want to be driving himself and he want to do this and he want to do that. No. Remember when we went around and we did the drive around after the storm? He was driving his own truck. I'm sitting in the passenger seat and his driver is sitting in the back seat. The driver wanted to drive him. The premier said, no, you're not coming in my district. I mean, I know there's protocols and there's a protocol office. I'm sure they've told you this is your job and this is what you was doing, whatever. But he's like, you're not going to come in my district while I'm going around seeing what's going on with people and drive me around. I'm going to drive my own damn self. First of all, I know my district inside and out. And secondly, this isn't a protocol vehicle, so there's no issue there. I'm driving my own truck. It's okay. You sit in the back seat. I'm going to drive you. I can tell you, I don't know what his name is, but little driver is like, this is weird. I don't know. You know why it's weird? Because nobody else has ever done that before. You think Alden would have been, oh, child, please. Alden goes to South Coast Bar to have a social moment. And he got the official vehicle hiding in the bushes and driving him home. Now, he probably needed a driver anyway. After you've had a few, you shouldn't drive. So I'm sure he needed a driver in any event. But most people would be like, oh, I'm just going to call a friend or whatever. They're not going to use an official protocol vehicle to drive them from socializing at a bar. But he had a very different, approach to things. Let's put it that way. And I understand the arguments. And, even when we were saying, what should we call this segment, this Q&A segment with the premier? Have a look at this. This is the design. My designer needs to fix this, though. I just told him this should be full screen. But Premier Access bi-monthly Q&A with Wayne Panton. Now, by all rights, I should be saying with Premier Wayne Panton. He said no, he don't want no Premier. This is just a relaxed Q&A segment. Don't be, going on with the official titles and whatever. He's a little bit more down to earth. Like I said, when he was with the progressives, they might have been giving him a different narrative, a different script to follow. And he's recognized that the script to follow that, the people are inclined to want to just, is just be yourself. And if this is who you are, then this is who you are. So Masu says, oh my God, yes, that man Mario calls the premier so bad. It's unbelievable. Well, he is very disrespectful. Now listen, we have had our moments on this show. Don't get me wrong, because this isn't going to be a case of the pot calling the kettle black. We have had our moments on this show where we have had to tell the truth. And have we really gone hard at somebody? Yes. some of you may have thought, well, that was disrespectful. Okay, I'm going to own it. Is it disrespectful to say that someone, although I never called her name, is a doorknob that everybody has taken a turn at? Even if that's the truth, is that disrespectful? But that's still a little bit different than what Mario does with the premiere and with others. I mean, I don't watch his show, but I've heard clips of it and I've seen the terminology and some of the things that he does, right? So for example, he has a hard-on for Jennifer Ahern. I don't know why. I have not yet figured out what his issue is with her. Now, we've talked about this woman before in the show. We've talked about some of her mistakes. But one thing that I hear consistently from people is she's actually a really hard worker. The government gets value for money out of Jennifer Ahern. You mightn't like her. You might think, give that position to Kimanian. Well, now she's a Kimanian, so that argument is lost. Or whatever, right? But no one seems to be able to dispute that the woman don't work hard and that she doesn't know her stuff. Except Mario. Mario has some kind of special hard-on for this woman that really has me wondering, did he try to make the moves on her and she shut him down? Because, I don't know. That's how some men get, If they can't have you otherwise and you shut them down, they're going to be like, oh, I got to talk about you bad. So maybe, I don't really know. But he does, for someone who has assisted him not that long ago, just a few months ago, to even get his very platform going, to then be so ungrateful to that person and disrespectful in the way that he has been is really, really interesting. So Siobhan says, I'm having the same complaint. I've only had my trash collected once this week. Well, Siobhan, is it just the once this week that you're complaining about, or the fact that they're leaving garbage behind? Because remember now, because of the public holiday, because of Remembrance Day, I think that delayed garbage collection. So, but wait a minute. You said you've only had your trash collected once this week. Isn't it only collected once a week? Are you getting special treatment in West Bay? Where's my back scratcher? Oh, here it is. Because we only do collection once a week anyway. I'm not aware of I'm not aware of it being more than once a week. So Carla also says, me too. I had 2 full bins last week and they only emptied 1. So Perla is thinking, said, when some garbage collectors pick up the garbage in your area, especially if they know whose house it is, they just do or don't pick up most bags. Please do check this out and why they mistreat the bins in the middle of the road. Not professional at all. All right, well, this might sound like a simple problem, but this is a problem because the last thing you want is garbage spewed all over the place and people not picking up the garbage because, listen, rodents, roaches, all sorts of things happen when you have poor sanitation. So let's, let me see what we can do about that. So Siobhan says some of them behaving real cockatoo. Cockatoo? Is that how you pronounce? How you cockatoo? Cockatoo. Cockatoo. I don't know if that's how you spell it, but yes, I know what you mean. We don't even see or hear from most of the politicians anyway. Well, Mona, what I will tell you is Impact Wednesdays is here for a reason. And, honestly, this past week, they didn't come on, I think, again, because it was a shortened week. But they have been, the PAC government has been coming on. Now, the other people, I can't really tell you much about them. But yes, some of them barely show up to work. And when I tell you that there's sittings of the Legislative Assembly And Alden shows up in time for lunch. He doesn't come for the morning session normally, not at all. They have had Zoom meetings, so there would have been no excuse not to show up, really. Even about the reopening of the borders, all this kind of stuff. The only two at that meeting, that was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, the only two that did not show up was Alden McLaughlin and John John. Now, I'm going to be fair to John John. You know, sometimes I kind of go a little bit hard at John John because he's kind of the simplest of the bunch. But let me be fair to John John. I think he might have actually had COVID because it was the same time that the rumors were circulating that he was positive for COVID. So let's give him the excuse that he had COVID and he wasn't feeling well. Alden had no excuses. He just doesn't participate. And so when he then comes out and pushing the leader with these video messages and lambasting the government, whatever, I just sit back and say, please, listen, you can't have it both ways. You're either going to sit on the farm and do nothing like you did during the initial cleanup after Hurricane or Tropical Storm Grace or whatever the heck Grace was, right? It wasn't until we started calling you out that then you kind of went around your neighborhood a little bit. The man is having no community meetings, no district meetings, nothing. Now he's been a little bit more active in his WhatsApp group, but before he would sit there and not say a single word, right? You can't be half in and half out. You make up your mind. You're either going to represent the people because you're still making $8,000 a month plus. So you're either going to represent the people of the Cayman Islands, although you're not government leader, although you didn't get the finance ministry that you want, you still have a job. You still have an obligation to the people of Red Bay. And if you didn't want the job, you should have ran, give it to Sammy. Sammy was ready. So you can't not show up and think that the people are going to be fooled by this. Because we will ask questions. Well, why isn't he showing up? Maria seems to be having an issue as well. She says, that's nothing, lady. As I pretty watch the garbage men when they're picking up the garbage. And yes, they don't care. Just yesterday, I had to speak to one of them and told him that I just bought all 5 bins last week and I'm not prepared to replace them soon. And I paid like $1,500 for my garbage every year. The man cursed me out. What? Now, this is a problem, folks. Listen, they are civil servants, huh? So they should be doing their job to certain quality standards. And if they don't want the job, I can assure you that there are other people who will gladly take it. But they can't be cursing people out. They can't be treating your garbage like, I don't want to say treating it like garbage, but you know what I mean, right? There's a proper disposal process. Flashpoint says he should not drive in fast. Yes, I mean, yes, I think when you're in an official vehicle, yes. But there will be times, listen, if the man won't go grocery store. But you know what? I think Cayman is like in a transitional stage, right? So it's not like we are an independent nation where like the president, you know, once you're in that capacity, you get security, you get this, you get that. So we're kind of like half in, half out when it comes to how the leadership of the country is treated once they have a title. Like I'm sure in other jurisdictions, once you're premier of that country or chancellor or whatever the heck your official title is, you probably don't even grocery shop for yourself. You've got chefs at your disposal. You have, you know, not just drivers, like it comes with a whole, it's like being president of the United States. You've got maid service, you've got everybody. Your only focus is on trying to run the country. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been twice. Well, I don't know about West Bay, but on this side of the island, my God, for probably at least 10 years, we haven't had, well, close to it. We have not had garbage picked up twice a week at all. Because it used to be Saturdays and I think for us, it was like Thursdays and Saturdays. And then Saturdays disappeared and we only get it on Thursdays now. So Gabby says, has the garbage pickup for Newlands changed? I think it's still Thursdays because they came. Yeah, I put my garbage out Wednesday night. This week was a little bit mixed up because of the dates, but the holiday always throws you off. But I put my garbage out Wednesday night and they came Thursday morning. Now, normally I don't put the garbage out. I got to tell y'all something. That's one of those chores that I leave for my husband, and here's why. Because he always does it like late at night on Wednesday night. Gets all the garbage bins together from all the different bathrooms and whatever, puts in a big bag or two, and then it goes out, right? Now I'll do like the smaller bags and whatever. And in fact, I had a big bag of stuff because I was clearing out some stuff on, I think, Tuesday during the day, and the lawn people came by and I asked them if they could just take it and dispose of it instead of having it sitting up by the bin because it was a pretty big bag. And they said, yeah, sure, Miss Sandy, no problem. But normally he puts it out. And the reason why he does it is because after dark, I don't really like going outside because, there's something called flying cockroaches. Me and them not friends. And I feel like they're just waiting for me to go outside out by the garbage or a frog. And then, as a matter of fact, when I took out the garbage, because he hasn't been feeling well, he's in isolation. When I took it out on Wednesday night, sure enough, there's a frog right by the garbage. And I was like, oh, Jesus, please don't jump on me because I don't want to be screaming down the neighborhood. It went well. He didn't move. And they don't replace the bins and the receptacle. Okay, so I think what we need to do, this is a real life issue here, is we are going to reach out to the Department of, who would that be now? DOE, Department of Environment, or the Environmental Health. I always get them confused. DEH, that's Environmental Health. Okay. We'll reach out to them. That's Richard Sims and that group. Maybe they need to do some retraining of the sanitation workers. So Carla, you get twice a week? So how come Newlands and Bodden only get once a week? I want to know what's going on here. Now I want twice a week too. Catherine says, morning, better late than never. I would just like to say a great thank you to the fine officers from the fire service who came out this morning to help my 92-year-old mother after a slip and fall. Oh my God, is she okay? We were unable to lift her. So a quick 911 call and help speedily arrived. Again, many thanks to the CI fire officers. I really can't get enough credit. Well, Catherine, please do tell us if your mom is okay. Oh my God. I know that I've been meaning to come and do an interview with her and your dad because they've been married forever. How many years has it been now? Like 70 years or something crazy. Oh gosh, I hope she's okay. So Ms. Janet says the garbage folks will lie and say that the garbage bags are broken. So take a picture to show your evidence. I did call to make a complaint. So let's see what happens. Okay. This is a perfect opportunity to tell you guys about another segment that we're going to be kind of given a specific, we kind of do this anyway, but we're going to like give it a specific time in the schedule, right? So this one is called Sort 'em Out, Sandy. Helping you with your consumer issues as well as businesses, because we got to sort out some of the thieves running around here stealing money from businesses. Don't worry, we got one coming up from Monday's show. Went and stole $50,000 from a salon. The story is going to drop today. And then on Monday, we'll talk about it a little bit. I don't know what do y'all with your sticky fingers. Trying to live a lifestyle you cannot afford. So sort about Sandy, if you have any consumer issues, government issues, you want us out of government department, give us a call and we will hopefully be in a position to help you with a resolution. So we can help you get them sorted out. So, everything from consumer and business advice. I'm hoping that some of our legal friends will join the program. and talk about different things, whether it's insurance contracts, like things that you need to be aware of when you're entering into contractual agreements with people and relationships. So that's going to be a new segment. I'm totally excited about that. So stay tuned for that. The garbage situation I'm going to get on top of. Maria says, Sandy, you hit it on the nose. Busy. No, honey child. But while running for election, my phone calls were a pickup and one ring. Door was always available to walk through. But now, child, 11 months and they done gone. It's not 11 months yet, though. I think it's only May. When was election? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. 6 months. And they need to remember it's only 4 years. Can't wait. The name is stink for prospect that the people have here has nothing good to say. Oh, Lord Jehovah. Well, that's not good. Hot mess. I tell you what, some people need to get it together. Let me, there was somebody too who was messaging me about, oh yeah, so listen to this one, right? This person messaged and they said they likewise were not happy with certain things. But you know what was strange about this message? So they were saying that, well, they need to get off the vaccine train, which, you know. So they were venting a little bit, saying that people were dying. Let me read this message to you, because this one is weird. Let me pull this one up. 526. Okay. So this is what the person said. They sent a very long, lengthy message. Very long. And this is Monday. Child, let me screenshot this, because this one's so long. I can't. I can only read parts of this because this is really, really long. So this is part of the message. And then they made very specific things about the government. And I want to talk about the necessity, and I believe in being fair. You know, you got to give anybody their due, even the devil, his credit. So this was one long ass message that I got. Hi, Sandy. My question is, why are we recording at least one death per day, sometimes more? The pink elephant in the room nobody wants to address is what's really going on here. Nobody wants to say it, that the vaccine or COVID-19, everything is suddenly natural causes or underlying conditions. So isn't that how COVID works, really? I'm not really sure I understand, but I realize nothing has changed in terms of this present government and transparency, and you might not necessarily agree, but nothing has changed about reality. People are dying at an unprecedented rate. And why is nobody paying attention to this? Only sending condolences. Something is very wrong, and I don't know. If I am one of the few that is seeing it, or the only one that is willing to say so, but this is not normal. And the great speeches and false sense of security not changing the reality, and won't, because people are continuing to die. Yes, this great vaccine may be saving some people from developing major symptoms, but on the other hand, people are dying after they take it and nobody's paying attention or are blatantly ignoring the reality. This has taken the people with the weakened immune systems or those with so-called underlying medical conditions. My mother took that shit, and I said it from then. I heard my sister and brother had given it to her behind her backs and that she wasn't going to live another year, and she died 7 months later. She had heart issues some years ago. Okay. But she was doing fine. But that was the easiest thing to say. She came out of surgery on Thursday to increase the blood flow in her leg, and they let her out on Friday, saying everything was fine, and Saturday morning she was dead. Blood clot, my dear. Her weakened immune system could not take that. Nobody at HSA wanted to sign her death certificate. So what does that tell you? I don't know what that means, why they wouldn't want to sign a death certificate. They had her private vascular surgeon listed on her death certificate. Okay. Well, here what? This one came out in that go and ask questions about what is really going on. Okay, so let me address a few things in this, right? So first of all, there are people out there who are pushing this narrative, and I saw Renwick Christian, some others talking about how many people are dying. Folks, the number of deaths in this country is actually very, very easy to verify. I don't know why anyone would think that people are hiding the number of deaths in this country. First of all, it's information that you can easily get, and we have actually requested the information. Now, here's the kicker. This is where, as I've said before, something called confirmation bias really, really becomes important. Deaths are down. Let me go pull up the story, because you don't have to believe me. Deaths are down to a record low for the past 10 years. Obviously, the year hasn't been completed yet, so this was up to the point of this article, right? So let me see now. I'm trying to remember what would have been in the article. So if the death numbers, oh God, let's bring up too many tests, too many results. Hold on. What else was in there? We did an entire article on this. I'm trying to see if I can find that article easily on the website that reflected the fact that the number of people who have died is comparatively lower than the previous 10 years. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. All right, let me go back. This was a couple months ago now, so it might have been a while. It was probably in September. Okay, I think it was part of this article. So I feel like I need to do a second article about this, because I think y'all missed the information in the article, because I know that y'all don't actually read. Oh yes, this is it. Here we go. Good. Okay, let me show you. Let me show you this. Okay. So when you say things like more people are dying now than ever before, where, what country y'all talking about? Because again, anecdotal evidence isn't evidence. You know what I'm saying? So we need to make sure that we're getting accurate information. First of all, how is it possible that you can hide deceased people? Cayman is too small for that. So either somebody has died or they haven't died. And when they die, everybody in the community knows about it. So maybe because we're such a small jurisdiction, you feel like you know every single person that has died. Let's look at the numbers though. And this was mid-year population estimates, and then residents excluding overseas resident deaths for the same time period. So we're going back to 2010. And despite having more people, a higher population by a significant number, let's say, than even 2010, look at the numbers. So the mortality rate is at an all-time low. These are the actual figures. So when people say, oh yeah, people drop down dead, okay, where? Actually, in 2019, a lot of people died. Y'all need to look at what happened in 2019. There was a significant increase. 3.6 was a mortality rate compared to some other years when you had 3.0, 2.7, 2.5 the previous year. And there's a lot of things that can explain trends in mortality. You see where it says ESO? This is why y'all need to participate in the census, because that's where they're getting population records and stuff from. People die. I hate to tell you all this, but people die every single day. You know, only in Cayman do we feel that if somebody dies, it's an unusual occurrence. Now, is it an unusual occurrence for someone to die after surgery? Well, you guys remember what I said recently about even women being pregnant? And that's like the highest chance in your life, other than elderly people, that you're going to die. Well, after surgery, the chances of you developing a blood clot is pretty significant, actually. That's one of the reasons why they will do certain things, like when you go into surgery, they got to put those leggings on you, those compression stockings, because you have a very high chance of developing a blood clot post-surgery. In fact, let me see if we can find out what your chances are. So you have a high chance after childbirth and surgery, because most people with childbirth involve some sort of procedure. So listen to this. You're most likely to develop a blood clot between 2 and 10 days after your surgery. But in fact, your odds are higher for about 3 months post-surgery. You also have a higher chance of DVT after surgery when you smoke. Well, of course, we know that smoking does not bode well. So depending on the type of surgery you're having and other factors, like if you've had DVT in the past, if you smoke, if you're overweight or obese, that includes your chances. If you have family members with DVT, so remember DVT is deep vein thrombosis, that's a condition. If you're pregnant, this is on the list. Have any disorder that affects your blood or veins. If you're older, now I don't know, she didn't say how old her mommy is, but she probably up in age. And you use certain medications, including hormone therapy or birth control, or you have specific types of cancers. All of those things increase your chances of getting a blood clot even more than just the surgery itself. So they're compounding issues. It goes on to say that the surgery itself can cause a blood clot. Long procedures where you're lying on an operating table for many hours allows your blood to settle and pool, making it easier to clot. Tissue, debris, fat, and collagen could get released into your blood system during an operation, making blood thicker around those particles. And blood clots can also form if your veins are damaged during an operation. Surgeries that involve scraping or cutting into a bone, such as hip replacement, may release substances known as antigens. And these antigens trigger your body's immune system and can lead to blood clots. So an elderly person developing a blood clot after surgery is not unheard of, and it's probably way more common than you think. Someone died recently. She was COVID patient number 4, COVID related. And we knew that she had cancer and she was in the hospital. And someone said, oh, she had several blood clots. Well, again, being in the hospital means that you're not as mobile. You're not moving as much. You're lying down in one position a lot. Your chances of developing a blood clot. That's why after surgeries, what's the thing that they tell you to do? Get up and move. That's what you need to do. You need to move as much as you can. So now this is where, I try to read carefully what people say, right? And so the person continued to share their story, and they can say, I can honestly tell you that the word on the street are that Caymanians are not impressed with this current government. And we are feeling that nothing has changed, but the players as Caymanians are still disenfranchised, and they're pandering to nothing but the same special interest, just different faces. People are dying here every day with no respect or explanation. And again, we know that that actually isn't true. Now, in the past week, we've had a number of deaths. I just told you this morning, we had another Caymanian. He's been sick for years. He probably, let me not say it. He's been sick for years. Let's just leave it at that. His death is no surprise to anyone. Okay? So the elderly dying, yeah, they die. That's what the elderly people do, unfortunately. I don't see any young, healthy people dying without explanation. Now, that would cause me concern if everybody was just dropping dead and they were perfectly healthy. Every single person that I'm aware of who has died has had a very logical explanation, medically logical explanation as to why they died. They were high risk. They were elderly. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Now, is where it gets strange, right? So they're talking about this government and, they're still pandering. Now, mind you, the government has been in 6 months, right? But here is what the person says that makes me think, okay, you are obviously not being balanced and fair in any way. Broken promises and not even 2 years in. Say what? Hold on here. Come again? It's 6 months. What are you talking about 2 years? For you to even say that, if you think this government has been in for 2 years, do I really need to put much stock in anything else that you've said? They've had 6 months to undo some things that have been in place for how long? Rome was not built in a night, and if Rome burnt down, you can't rebuild it overnight. So you need to give them a chance. It hasn't been 2 years. So when you say, not even 2 years in, no, honey, not even 6 months in. I don't even understand that. And I understand this last part that says, I'm venting, but my heart is full and I'm in grief. That will also, just being in grief, will cause you to not see things necessarily as what they are. So listen, my condolences to anyone who is going through a difficult time right now. You're suffering because you have lost a parent, because you have lost a loved one. But I think when we're making these statements, especially in a community this size about the government, the least we can do is have it based on facts. We can't say, we're not even 2 years in yet. No, they're 6 months into their tenure. 6 months. Have you ever tried changing something in your own life in 6 months, much less running a country and trying to correct some of the things that's going on in the country? So, I replied to this person and I said, actually, the facts are that the deaths are the lowest that they have been in 10 years. And I said, the government just got in 6 months ago and the issues were not created in 6 months, and they certainly can't be fixed in 6 months either. And I said, we did an entire story on the numbers months ago. Let me see if I can find it, because people continue to spread this misinformation. Now, what she says with, they don't want to sign off on the death certificate. I don't know what that could be about. I don't know what that means. I mean, she said that the surgeon had to sign off on it. Well, sometimes the last medical professional that, dealt with that person, that might be the correct protocol. I don't really know a whole lot about death certificates. That doesn't mean that nobody at the HSA wanted to sign off on it. That means that they probably have a very specific protocol that has to be followed. I can find out. Those are the questions that I can ask quite freely, because I don't know. But I think that we jump to certain conclusions and we, come up again with things in our head, part of the confirmation bias. We want to believe that this government isn't doing anything. We want to believe that there's a cover up. And so we start looking for any little minute thing that allows us to think that there's a cover up in place. So let me leave it there. You guys, please have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Flashpoint says someone needs to find out from the DG why monitoring has not been put in place to determine why government workers are not answering their phones. Accountability is needed. Well, let me send this to the DG so that he can perhaps make some inquiries. Is there a specific department, Flashpoint, that you are referring to? Or is this just everybody in government? Might help if we could narrow it down. Catherine says her mom is fine. Oh, thank God for that. She's just shaken, I'm sure. Poor thing. But remember now, Catherine, her age, did you say she's 96 or 97? A fall can be very, very serious, 92. So please ensure that you get her checked out thoroughly, because sometimes you can even have a hairline fracture at that age and it's not so obvious. So make sure that she really gets checked out. Bones are a lot more brittle at 92. Although she might be feeling okay, sometimes the adrenaline of something like that gets you so scared that you don't feel the pain until later. So please have her thoroughly checked out by a medical professional, and let us know next week how she's doing. So we're going to get on to DEH about these concerns about their garbage men slinging stuff everywhere. Oh my God. Anne says in the middle of the road sometimes. Siobhan, I think you're getting some special treatment in West Bay. We got to see what's going on up that side. She lives close to Mr. Bush. Maybe that's what it is. Because everybody else has been on once a week for a long time. So I don't know. Just a small advice for the chickens in your yard. We're giving chickens advice. If you use a bright colored bag like white, they will pick at it. Try a black bag. Oh, I use black bags. They just won't go near your garbage because of this black bag. I've examined it by leaving it by my doorstep, and next day it was okay. Just try it. Okay, well, I'm already using black bags, so that's good. Chickens are a bit of a nuisance, child. I need the chicken culling people to come out. I'm actually going to call Eddie today because I know he does chicken culling, I think. He needs to come and take away some of these chickens. Oh my God, my husband, he's like, the chickens in the garden again. He actually put up a fence to try and keep them out. It's helped a little bit, but not a whole lot, because chickens can fly, y'all forget. They have wings. Chickens can fly. They're birds. And so they can fly right over the chicken coop. So we need to remove some from the neighborhood, though. They are super annoying. So he's had a lot of activity going on in his garden recently. We actually had some sorrel. My aunt made me some sorrel from sorrel that he's planted. And I didn't know that sorrel grew, so it's a lot of it. So anybody needs some fresh sorrel, link me up. I can get some other garden for you. Because there's only so much sorrel that you can drink. So he'll pack up, Marlon will pack up goodie bags for like the neighbors, and he'll take them each like a little goodie bag from his garden. So they'll have like tomatoes and all sorts of stuff he got going by that child. Can I just tell you, the garden is full of stuff. So sorrel is in plentiful supply at the moment. He might go pick some post-COVID. And I can let you guys have some. So let me know if you'd like some fresh sorrel. Lots of it in the back garden. All right, beautiful folks. One other announcement. If you're looking for employment, which I know a lot of people are, the HSA is hiring temporary administrative assistants needed. Minimum of 2 years office admin experience. You must be fully vaccinated. Ability to work evenings, weekends, and public holidays, and must have your own transportation, at least a high school diploma, and must be Caymanian or have rights to work. If you meet those criteria, please apply. hsa.jobs@hsa.ky. You can email it in. Reference you want to use is temporary admin post. Now apply, folks, because you'd be surprised that sometimes you go into a temporary role and it ends up becoming permanent. You never know. You go in there and really impress the heck out of the HSA. Child, they can be like, we're going to keep you on, honey child. Natasha, you'd like some fresh sorrel? Yes. All right, let me write it down, child, because God knows if I don't put it in my to-do book, it'll never get done. All right, here you go. Okay. Oh, I got one long list of stuff I need to do. Oh, yes. Look, something I can cross off my list. I did that script already. Good. And I paid for my house insurance. I can take that off too. I need to do some paperwork today. So I'm going to put down Sorrel. And then we got Natasha. Natasha, will you WhatsApp me your contact details? And who else wants some Sorrel? Dawn. Okay, so we got Dawn Edwards. Okay, Dawn, message me 324-1612. Miss Larita would like some. Very good. Nice. I'm gonna go have me a glass of sorrel after this, actually. I got some in the fridge. Perla wants some sorrel. Nice. Can you repeat the HSA email? Oh, yes. Kashina, let me put it back up on the screen. Here we go. There we are. Now, do y'all know how to make sorrel once you have the sorrel? I don't know. Is it a sorrel leaf? It looks like a little like fruit looking thing. I don't know what you call it. The sorrel bud. Now, I don't know how to make it. I'm just going to give you all the stuff and hopefully you know how to make it yourself. So the HSA email, hsa.jobs@hsa.ky. And you can also go to the website, hsa.ky, to apply from the website as well. Ooh, long list of people who want sorrel. Oh, this is good. All right, hold on now. Let me continue writing. So I got Perla, Stacy. Okay. Stacy Ann. Will you guys WhatsApp me, please, so I can get your numbers? Miss Rose would like some. Maybe someone be having a sorrel party around here. Now, do you guys do you just do it, do you do it where it's, do you put a little bit of something in it, like a little alcoholic beverage, or do you just do it straight? Because I know Christmas time, y'all like a little sorrel and a little bit of, give it a little punch. Odette, Miss Iva. So I might have to learn which ones to pick, because he was saying to me, oh, go pick them. And I'm like, I don't know anything about you and your garden, child. I'll leave that to you. Miss Sue, how has your TV been working out, Miss Sue? I hooked up Miss Sue with a little TV service, child. Sharanika, you want some sorrel too? Okay. I think Miss Sue is enjoying her British TV. Can I tell you that British TV, they actually have really good programming. I must tell you, they really do. All right, so oh, one other thing, celebrity news. Did y'all see that Adele had a really awesome performance the other day, an interview with Oprah? So today is International Men's Day. Who knew that there was such a thing? November the 19th. So I guess happy International Men's Day to all the men out there. Time to receive and honor the contributions and sacrifices that a man makes for his family and society. Happy International Men's Day. Well, we'll post something up on the page here shortly about that. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. Oh, yes, we got some messages coming in for the sorrel. Oh, someone also has a schedule of pickup days. Thank you for sharing this. For your, in case you don't know what day they actually pick up your garbage, here's the link for that. What else? You have some brownies. Oh God, a community garden would be nice in every community. I agree. Ruth says, red label wine tastes nice and sorrel. There you go. Girl, Sharanika, if I made brownies for you, you would probably never leave my house. Ask Johan Moxham about the brownies. Because child, good morning, Miss Ruth. He loves him some brownies. But you know, you can't eat brownies every day because, you know, the waistline and the calories and the cholesterol and diabetes and all the other good stuff. But I haven't made any for a couple weeks. I might be in the mood to make some soon. All right, you message me and let me know it's you, and I'll make you a little batch of brownies. All right, thank you, Louis. He says, thank you for the recognition. I glorify women 365. So one day I'll take it. Yes, take it. Listen, there are a lot of wonderful men out there who sacrifice for their families, their communities, their countries. And those are the men that we need to really put on a pedestal. The deadbeat fathers and the rest of them who are abusive, we're not really, we're trying to get them to get their act together if that's possible. But yes, there are a lot of wonderful, wonderful men out there. And I think that we are fortunate when we find one, and we need to let them know that they're appreciated. Because there's an expectation that you're going to take care of your family and whatever. But when they do it and they don't complain and they just lovingly do it, trust me, give them all the accolades in the world that you can. Right? Perla, you have a beautiful day. Thank you, Larry. Happy International Men's Day. Maria says, men, not boys that walk in men's shoes. Well, Charlie can't walk in men's shoes if they're not men. Krista, hello. How are you? Someone just said, listen, you make my baby in my tummy dancing for those brownies. Oh, you're pregnant? Woo. Yes, child, you and the baby gonna enjoy these brownies. So I got my list of sorrel. I'm gonna get on that this weekend. I need to add another one to the list. Stacy, I got you, girl. Sabrina. Yes, honey child. I'm gonna take a little picture. I'm gonna go out there now in the garden, and I'm going to take a picture or video and show you how much sorrel there is. I think there's a lot, because last time he picked it, there was like a whole thing of it. Now, I don't know how much you need to make how much sorrel. Like I said, I don't make it, so I don't know. But I'll give you guys each a bag of sorrel, and you can make some drinks with it and that sort of stuff. All right, everybody good? Have a wonderful day. Big shout out to Adele. I'm such a super fan. I love her. Recently she got a divorce, and she said that, her and her husband are her ex-husband are co-parenting, whatever. But now she feels like she's actually living or herself. And so Oprah did an interview with her, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but child, she looks good. She's lost 100 pounds. First of all, she looks amazing. And, I've heard that for the first time in a long time, like, she feels like she's really happy and she's living her life. And did you know Odell has a black boyfriend? Oh my God. Look at her. She's glowing. Gorgeous. The woman said she is happy. So she recently released her new album called 30. We'd heard, I think, one song dropped previous to that, and now the entire album has dropped. She did an amazing performance the other day on like 4 days ago. As part of the Oprah special. There was a couple that got engaged during her concert and stuff, and she is just living her best life. Oh, let me show you her and her boyfriend, child. I don't know where she got him from, but mess with you, Adele. Yes, honey child. She got her nice little boo. Look at her. Ooh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Two of them look like they're having a good time. Don't get too serious, girl. Just have a good time. Relax yourself. No need to run down the aisle again anytime soon. Just date. All right, beautiful people. Big shout out to David at Prodigy Jewelers. Have you guys noticed that lately I've been wearing my little CMR pendant that he custom designed and made for me? I don't know how well you can see it, but it is gorgeous. He even put little diamonds and stuff in there for me. David is such a sweetheart. Any jewelry that you need, Christmas is right around the corner, and a lady likes a few pieces here and there. He's got you covered. He has a lot of Caymanian theme pieces, which is what I love. Like, I wear my flag. He has a flag. I think that flag is only one of a kind though, so I don't know if you can get that flag, but you can get all sorts of other things. That's absolutely beautiful. He just does an amazing job. So check him out. You can put stuff on layaway. You can start saving up for Christmas. I've been doing a little bit of Christmas shopping. Now my Christmas list is like, it's so tiny. you can barely see my Christmas list because mama ain't got no money to be spending on too many things and too many people this year. So I will be sending out lots of joy to a lot of people. But in terms of people who are actually going to receive a little something, something, the list is like 4 people. My daughter, my husband, BFF number 1, BFF number 2, maybe a 5th person, get a little counter of cookies. Like we give like little cookies and other stuff to like, you know, the neighbors and stuff like that. So that stuff people will get. But I got my husband something really special for Christmas. I think he's going to be excited. I can't tell y'all what it is because y'all blabber too much. Y'all run back and tell the man. But I think he's going to like it. Some people are hard to shop for, but he's non-fussy. Like he doesn't really, like even if you didn't get him anything for Christmas, I think he'd be fine. But this year, I think I might have outdone myself. Like I'm really hoping that he's going to like it. So Christmas after Christmas, I'll let y'all know what it was. And then of course, Gianna will get the usual like learning gifts and a few books. No more dolls. Every time she asks me for a doll, I'm like, child, how many dolls do you need? That's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to clean out her playroom, which has way too many toys and figurines and books. And so if any of you are looking for things for, I would say not a baby, but probably a little bit older, I'm going to be cleaning out stuff. And then I think I've got some stuff that has never even been opened. So I'm going to put it together and just donate it to people in need. So if you know of a mother, maybe a single mother with some younger children who are in need, link me up and I will get you some stuff. Because every time I look at that playroom, my anxiety, my OCD kind of want to kick in. And I'm just like, oh, I could just clear out the whole room and leave it empty. She'd probably start crying, but I won't do that. But we need to do a major clean out. So if you need any books, any toys, as a matter of fact, I've got a bag of shoes that has been sitting in the gym. You know, the same gym that doesn't get used. There's a bag of toddler shoes, probably going up to size 6 or so. Because I think now she's like at size 8. So maybe it goes up to 6 or 7. Some of the shoes were not even worn. So if you need toddler shoes, let me know. I can give you can go through it, use what you can, you know, pass it along, folks. Clothes, I'm pretty good about clearing out. So I don't think I have much in the way of clothing, but I do have some shoes. And I've got some adult shoes as well that I'd taken out for one lady who claimed that she needed shoes for work, but she never got the shoes. Now I can't force you to take help, folks. And some of those shoes size, I think they're like size 9.5. Some of those are brand new too. Never got to wear them. So if you're a female, size 9.5, 10, link me up. I can get you some shoes that you can have a look at. And then toddler stuff, you can check me as well. Folks, have a beautiful weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday, and we'll keep you updated with any news that happens between now and then. Toodaloo. Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get latest happenings.